Hey guys, welcome to Rob Reacts. So today, what we're going to focus on is things that Americans do, some of the things they say that just seem strange to anyone over in the UK and probably around the world. So let's get straight to it.
One, sales tax is a guessing game. When you go shopping in the US and see a price tag that says $14.88, don't expect to pay $14.88 at the register. Sales tax is not included in the price of an item. And since this tax can vary from state to state, figuring out your total can turn into the ultimate mental math challenge.
So this you experience this a little bit in wholesale shops, places over the UK called Booker, where they do large quantities, and you get some products that don't have the tax added. So you've got to work out in your head, oh, it's this much, and then you've got to add the tax, and it's really, really confusing, and it's very difficult to work out what your final bill will be. So if they have to do this for every shop, every weekly shop, oh, that would be a nightmare, absolute nightmare.
In many European countries, the sales tax is already included in the price. It's known as a value added tax, or VAT. Number 20,
Nice and
we're
easy.
total workaholics. A lot of Americans don't feel the need to take long vacations, so they often let vacation and sick hours pile up without ever using them. Plus, most employers only give you 2 weeks out of the year.
I'm not sure how much this is different. Um, I know obviously in the UK we get most people get 2, 3 weeks holiday, but I'm pretty sure the UK are known for working hard and getting tired and stressed. So I'm not sure how different this really is.
But in a lot of other countries, like Brazil or Finland, workers are encouraged to take an average of 30 days of vacay. Wow, maybe I should take some time off, or perhaps I'll just keep waiting. 19. It's not a party without red Solo cups. In the
Any American teenage film uh, is the red cups. It's the red cups. I think that's probably what America is known for, the red cups. And can we get them over in the UK? I've never found them.
States, this red plastic cup is synonymous with party on, dude. But other countries apparently don't recognize this cup to mean the same thing. People in the UK, for example, don't use red Solo cups at get-togethers. They have to go to a special website to purchase the cups for American-themed
Makes
parties.
sense.
Who knew? Number 18, deep-fried everything. Whether it's fried pickles or even fried Oreos, America has it all. Fried fish recipes first appeared in Spanish and Portuguese cookbooks as far back as the 1200s, and the Greeks were frying food in olive oil way back in the 5th century BCE. But as America does with many things, they've adopted a tradition from far-off lands and took it up a notch. Or
So don't get me wrong, KFC. Oh, I love a KFC and battered fish. Um, but I think America is known for deep frying everything. Saying that, Scotland does deep fry Mars bars apparently. So tell me in the comments, have you had a deep fried Mars bar?
or 5. 17. Get everything you need right at the pharmacy. If you're not from the US, it may be puzzling to walk into a pharmacy and see aisles and aisles of over-the-counter meds, toys, makeup, clothes, and even groceries. Unlike in other countries where pharmacies sell medicine and medical supplies exclusively, the ones in the US are like small convenience stores where you can grab magazines, Tylenol, and a frozen pizza in one fell swoop.
Yeah, that's certainly not the case here. Pharmacy is a pharmacy. I know you've got some shops, such as Boots, that have a pharmacy tucked in the corner and have other things, so for example, beauty and makeup. But yeah, you wouldn't find it's not a supermarket.
16. Fill her up. In America, if a restaurant doesn't offer free refills on fountain drinks, it's kind of strange. But in other countries, once you buy one beverage, that's it. France banned refills on sugary sodas back in 2017 in order to combat the current obesity epidemic. But in the US, the idea of free refills is still alive and well.
I don't know. There's some shops, some places such as Harvester in the UK, they offer free refills. It's not necessarily the case.
15. If you don't like it, return it. Whether it's an ugly sweater from grandma or a heinous pair of earrings from an ex, if you don't like it, you can just return it. In America, making returns at stores is pretty normal and super easy. I mean, the US even has a National Returns Day in January, conveniently held for you to return holiday gifts you weren't too thrilled about. 14. Tips for everyone. Cab drivers, servers.
Ah, do not get me started on tips. I'm sorry. I understand back in the day when, for example, waiters and waitresses, they lived off the tip and they were underpaid. But in today's day and age, people are paid a wage. You know, why are we paying extra for someone doing their job? It doesn't make sense. So it may seem bad, and correct me if you think I'm wrong in the comments, but I do not tip. I do not tip. Unless someone has gone over and beyond what their job is, you're getting paid a wage. You just don't need to be tipped.
Hairdressers, you gotta tip them. Tips are acceptable for almost any service in the US and sometimes consist of 25% of the bill. We haven't started tipping surgeons yet, but there are places in other parts of the world, such as Japan, that consider tipping incredibly rude, like in restaurants.
Tell you one thing, there's certain restaurants as well that on the bill they automatically add a 10%. Now, by law in the UK, you've got absolutely no reason to pay that 10%, but they add it on, almost hoping that people don't realise. And I find that is the rudest. You know, expecting people to pay that 10%, like I've said, they're getting paid for their job. So if a restaurant automatically adds that 10% on, they are definitely not getting that 10%, as I think that's so rude.
When you travel to different countries, it's important to learn their tipping etiquette so that you don't offend anyone. 13. I'll take my coffee to go. With a Starbucks on every corner, it's very normal to see people toting around a coffee as they shop, commute to work, and whatever else at all times of the day. But in many parts of the world, coffee is meant to be sipped on while seated and enjoying the paper or chatting with friends. Tugging your coffee along with you throughout the day might be due to the fact that the cups are huge and take longer to drink.
Maybe this is something that's come across to the UK, but with the amount of coffee shops that we've got, there's plenty of people that are walking around with cups of coffee and hot chocolate and tea. I don't think this is very different to other countries these days, to be honest.
Who's got that kind of time to be sitting in a cafe for hours? If it's not a hot coffee or cocoa, then it's probably got ice in it. Tea, coffee, lemonade, soda, water. Americans like it on the rocks. If you go elsewhere in the world, Americans must have an aversion to being hot. In many parts of Europe, people simply don't use air conditioning as much as they do in the States. Here, it's expected to always have the AC blaring, and a lot of visitors find it pretty strange and quite chilly. But come on, it makes sense. If you're cold, you can layer up. If you're hot, all you can do is suffer and complain about it.
I think in the UK, it's far too cold. The amount of heat that we get is for about 3 weeks in the summer when it's over 30 degrees, and so you just end up having fans up in the attic that we can bring down. It's an aircon is just not needed really.
Number 10. Looking at dollars is a snooze fest. I remember going to Europe for the first time and thinking their banknotes look like Monopoly money. And I guess a lot of countries
I agree with that. The euro does look like Monopoly money.
have bills of different colors and sizes depending on the value, like Swedish krona and Russian rubles. But not in the US. It's all greenbacks, baby. Sure, 10s look a little yellowy, 50s are kind of pinkish, and Benjamins seem bluer than the others. But still, US dollars definitely aren't as fun and rainbowy as other currencies.
Well, the UK's just changed, and we've gone to plastic notes. So 5 is green, 10 is kind of an orangey colour, 20 is a purpley colour, and they're all each note gets larger in size. So I think they're a lot easier to actually know what the difference is. So it makes much more sense to have different colours and sizes.
Number 9. Giving a thumbs up. In America, even little kids know a thumbs up means good job, way to go, or anything positive like that. But if you travel to
Don't
Greece
think
or the Middle
anything
East
happens over
and
very,
give
very
this
often.
common American gesture, you probably won't make too many friends. The date writing conundrum. So many visitors to the US get really confused by the month-day-year thing because most parts of the world write the day, then
They've got the month and the
follow
days the wrong way
There's no
round.
historical reason why the US insists on writing the day differently, but we just do.
Crazy.
Number 7. Pre-baby baby showers. Many cultures celebrate a new baby coming into the world, but America.
I think this is something that's creeping over to the UK. The baby shower, um, or the gender reveal, where you get someone popping a balloon. It's just, it's absolute nonsense.
America is one of the few places that does this before the baby actually gets here. In East Asian countries, for instance, celebrations for a new baby are held once. Sure, people ask each other how they're doing in other countries, but Americans often use this phrase as a replacement for hey or hello. It doesn't even require a real response. People just answer with
We
fine
do that
thanks,
in the
even
UK.
if they're in a horrible mood or had a terrible day.
We say you're
Number
right.
5. Bathroom stalls that aren't so private. Don't like doing your business in front of complete strangers? Americans don't either, of course, but the fact that bathroom stall doors often reveal as much as your entire lower leg seems to say otherwise. There's no clear reason as to why there's this big gap in public bathroom stalls here, but many guess it's for safety reasons or ventilation. Just saying. Number 4. No one uses their inside voice. A lot of my friends who are visiting or moved to the US tell me that locals speak so loud compared to other countries. Whether it's talking on your cell phone.
I think this is another thing Americans are known for. They're loud. They talk too much. They're always happy. That seems to be the thing. Now they probably aren't. They're probably not as happy as they come across. But that's certainly one of the things that we take from Americans. Very loud, very chatty, too happy.
Phone or chatting with a friend over lunch. Americans seem to really like projecting their voice. I don't know. Maybe we just want to make sure we're heard. Number 3. It's all about choices. Walk into any grocery store aisle and you'll notice at least 10 different options for cookies, crackers, or cereal. People in the UK don't have these many options for food, and you'll almost never find anything in grape flavor there. Number 2. Hopping into the back seat of a cab. When getting into a cab, it's customary in the States to scoot on into the back seat. But in countries like New Zealand and Australia, riding anywhere but shotgun can be a little rude. Number 1. That classic American smile. In the US, people aren't afraid to be nice.
I think quite often the difference is now, granted, the UK is a lot smaller, so we quite often have the same same weather, same temperature all the way through the country, and quite often it's cold, apart from, as previously said, the 3 weeks in a year that's really hot. But I think in America, granted, there's a lot of hot areas up north, there's a lot of cold areas, but I think normally their weather is a lot better than ours. And it's like Spain, for example. If you live in Spain, it's always sunny, more or less. And I think the sun just makes people happier. So you can't blame them that, they are quite often in nicer weather and makes people happier.
And show their pearly whites all the time. And according to a 2015 study at Brown University, because America has always been a very diverse country, it forced people to smile at each other more since they couldn't always communicate with language. That's just one more historical theory as to why Americans tend to smile more than people in other places do. Or maybe we're just, friendlier. Whether you're from the US or not, can you add any more strange Americanisms to the list?
So there's certainly some things I think that have come across to the UK and to other parts. Things like drinking coffee, for example. It's very American now. But is there anything else that you think that the Americans do that we probably don't understand or seems a bit strange for us? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget, like, share, and subscribe. Cheers, guys.